by MTM, which is a company that handles our special education transportation and some other miscellaneous routes that come up because of unique needs of things that happen with kids, such as injuries and so forth. That is over $1 million portion, and we have put that out for bid. It would be irresponsible to do that without a proper bid process. We are hoping that that bid will come in from MTM or another bus company at a flat rate, and we have built that into the budget as an expectation of it being flat. Legal costs that we have in terms of dealing with issues around our owner-operators are a problem for us. We are hoping that we could have a smooth year without an increase in legal costs, but every time an issue comes up, it's a contractual issue, and we have to deal with it with attorney fees. Our strategic school profile shows that Newtown's per-pupil expenditure for transportation is $100 more than other like districts, and that's a concern for us in these economic times. The reduction process, as you've heard already, which started at a no increase budget from the principals at 7.96%, has gone through this process, bringing it to you, the Board of Finance, at 1.74. Now, how does this budget proposal reflect sensitivity to the taxpayers' needs? Well, as was mentioned by the board chair, Elaine, the effect of the 08 change in insurance plan, which is the POE plan, saves the town, the community, a great deal in the way of tax dollars. We have gone to some partial positions rather than full-time positions. We have reconfigured positions so that we have people where there are the most children, the most crowded situations. We have fuel cost efficiencies this next year. We have eliminated some existing teacher positions to save money. My budget last year was the lowest one that I could document that had been presented to this town in 10 years, but this one is even lower. Now, there's a couple things I just want to bring to your attention, though, in terms of this. The effect of this change on student needs. It reduces effective programs. It postpones some of the safety and security improvements that we would like to put in place. We only minimally address NEAS concerns, and that's with only the 4 teacher positions and with the technology position. Minimum technology, reduction in textbooks. We have children going to magnet school, the AIS in Danbury. And above all, I think one of the strengths of this district has been the willingness, as our students will tell you, of the staff to give their all. And I'm concerned that the impact of this budget will have a negative impact on our staff morale. And I think one of the beautiful things about our school system is the willingness to work. Thank you very much, and I would like to ask Elaine McClure to just bring this to a close.
As most of you know, a few weeks ago, the Chinese delegation was in town, and in talking to their Chinese English-speaking teacher, she told me that they go to school from 8 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, 5.5 days a week, with a few hours off in the middle of the day. And what we're standing here is we're looking and we're asking the Board of Finance not to cut ours any further because we need to compete in this global economy. Our children need a chance. Picture again that limbo line. I could hum the limbo, but that would not go over so well. So if that bar gets too low, it will break the backs of the kids. And if we break the backs of the kids because we can't provide the education, then we break the back of the future. Thank you.
All right. hear me okay? Okay? Yes? Right. First of all, I'd like to thank the Board of Education for the presentation. And I thought I'd just take a minute to kind of describe where we are in the process and what our role is so that everybody knows. I think sometimes, as a couple people have mentioned, it could be your first time at a meeting or whatnot, and just so that everybody can understand. Our intent was to have a public hearing and then focus 2 nights each on the Board of Education and the Board of Selectmen. That's actually 2 nights more than we did the last number of years. I had posted an agenda that was from 7 to 9:30, so I apologize if it appears as if we're trying to rush things along or cutting people short. That is not the intent at all. It's just an attempt to try to get the information out there with the help of Matt Lodra, the tech people, Laura who spoke before, and getting people here. Our expedience was due to the fact that these young people get dropped off and have rides home, so that's the reason why I said it for 9:30. If we have to go after, we will. I don't know how long we can stay, but don't feel obligated if we do. So try to do as best we can to tell them. Also, we're not going to take any action tonight. Our scheduled meetings are, the next is for the 9th, which will be the Selectmen, then the 11th for the Board of Education for more Q&A, and then the 12th we've kind of set aside for specifics votes if we can't get to it on the 12th. On the 11th. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that obviously we play a role in the process. Sometimes it's not all that of an attractive role, so I would ask everybody's indulgence if we're asking questions or something that may not seem reasonable. Understand it's for us to try to understand what's going on, understand where the money's going, how it's consistent with last year, and what the game plan is. And most importantly, I realize everybody's here, and you certainly don't ever have, at least in my 16 years, I've ever seen a contingent this size for things like roads or filling potholes or something like that. It's always for the Board of Education, and we appreciate it. However, it is our role, okay, and I hope everybody understands it, and it's the root of a lot of the questions that we ask, to take not only the Board of Education's request into account, but the overall town in account in total. And that includes everything from what the requests are in front of us, to the Board of Selectmen's request, to things that may have happened in the budget year over year that we have to deal with that don't come up at meetings like this. Also taking into account things like revenue. I think it's important to understand that revenue is a very large issue for us this year. Whatever we don't make above and beyond last year, we have to make up this year in the form of either reductions or raising the taxes. And it's a much bigger piece of the puzzle than what gets talked about at these separate meetings. I just want everybody to understand that as well. We obviously will do our best, but, and again, and bear with us on the questions. We're trying to get to an end game that hopefully is not only financially prudent, but amenable to the taxpayer. After that, we will then recommend a budget to the full council. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands in this room that insofar as the Board of Education is concerned, since there's so many people here, there isn't any other board or commission in town that has any line item authority over the Board of Education's budget except the Board of Education. Now, clearly, they have to deal with what we recommend, and we're only advisory to the council, and what the council passes on, and then in turn what the public passes. But if we're asking questions or have an issue with something, it's not like we can say you need to cut that teacher. We've never said that. We can provide it as part of a rationale as to the program or a fuel cost or something like that. But at the end of the day, we deliver a bottom line to the council, and they in turn deliver a bottom line, unlike the Board of Selectmen, back to the Board of Education insofar as what's approved. They have all the line items. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands that.